Hey guys, it's your boy Ritvik Vinod Kumar here, and in this video we're going to be looking at all of these devices right in front of you guys. So first, we're going to start off with the tablet at the very edge. This is a Galaxy Tab B on the Verizon network, which used to belong to my grandma before she passed away. Let's go and power this on. Okay, next up, we have a Motorola. I don't know which model this is, but this is just some kind of Motorola Nexus, I think. And yeah, I'm just going to turn that on. Next up, we have this Nokia RM980, and this thing is absolutely destroyed. I remember how I broke it in 4th grade when I dropped this thing all the way down the stairs, and this is the removable back. This phone is from India, and it used to belong to my uncle. And this is an iPhone 5S that does still work, but the thing is that it's Apple locked, and we are not able to resolve that. This phone right here is an iPhone 6, just the 6, not the 6S. Next up is an iPhone 6 Plus, which is the bigger brother to this phone. Let's go and power that on. Okay. Next up is a Samsung Guru Music 2. Now, this phone is imported from India, and it's a feature phone that a lot of older people use in India. This is a Micromax Unite 3, and it used to belong to my grandfather, but this phone does not work anymore, and it boot loops when I try to turn it on. And this phone is from India as well, just like the other Samsung. This is a Galaxy S4 Mini, and this actually used to be my mom's old phone before I was like 4. So let's go and turn this on. Okay. And this is the Galaxy S5, and this phone, it works, but the thing is that it's like completely cracked. And the LCD, like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it does vibrate. And the LED indicator does work, but the screen, long story short, it got like smashed when I was during COVID time when I used to use this phone. This right here is a Galaxy S6, and this is a Verizon model, but this phone, like, it does work, but it's severely cracked. But the phone works perfectly fine other than that. As you guys can see, this phone did like boot up, and you can hear noises coming from it. And this right here is a Galaxy S9 Plus. And this used to be my phone before I got my S24 Ultra. So let's go and power this on. This thing was an absolute beast, by the way. Okay, so next up is my grandma's beloved Galaxy S21 Fan Edition. This phone is an SMG988U, I believe. So let's go and power this on. Yep, this is an unlocked S21 FE. So these 3 phones right here are all unlocked, except the S24, which is on T-Mobile. This is my T-Mobile Galaxy S24 Ultra 5G, and this has been my daily driver ever since the past few months, and it's been amazing so far. Okay, yeah. Now these phones are just like powering on in themselves. So yeah, thank you guys. And now we're gonna move on to the second part. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna now go over each cell phone in detail, starting with this Galaxy Tab B. So this one right here, it's running Android 7.0 Nougat, and in 2024, I don't think this tablet is worth it anymore, especially because it's quite slow and a lot of apps don't really work on it. Although it was a great tablet back in the day in 2018. And this makes a lot of touch noises, as you guys can hear. So yeah, now we're just gonna shut this back down. All right, moving on to the next device. Next up is some random Motorola phone, I believe. So yeah, this is running Android Lollipop, and this has a really cool Easter egg. So let me just pull that up. Sorry guys, this is taking forever. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is the model number, some random stuff. And let's go ahead and, yep, there's the game. So this is a pretty cool game. Oops. Yep, it's a pretty cool game, but this is not worth it in 2024. Like, nothing works on this phone. Like, a lot of stuff are outdated, but for calling and texting, this will work. But as a daily driver, no, I don't recommend this phone at all. I don't think anybody even sells it anymore. Let's go and power this back on. I just have it because my mom's office gave it to her as part of a phone collection. And next up is iPhone 5S. As you guys can see, this phone is locked to an Apple ID. This is running iOS 12, and this is a 2013 iPhone. And this is not the latest or greatest, and I don't recommend it anymore to anybody. Oops, it's in Chinese now. So yeah, this was a good phone at the time, but I don't think it's gonna work anymore in 2024. And a lot of apps are not supported on iOS 12 or even older iOS versions like iOS 15 even. So yeah, I'm just gonna power this back down. And so this is an iPhone 6, I believe. This is just the normal iPhone 6. Let me just put in my password and show you guys. So yeah, this is running a lot of older versions of apps, like the Spotify is from 2018. So this is like a pretty cool phone. It's also very reliable, which is one thing I really liked about the iPhone 6. I feel like the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 11 were some of the best phones Apple ever created. After that, they were just like either copying off other companies or just some stuff that people don't really care about. And also the iPhone X, because that's the only phone that had like a revolutionary change. And this is the older brother of the iPhone 6, which came out around the same time as it. This is the iPhone 6 Plus. So this phone is also running iOS 12. No need to show you guys that. And this is also a pretty good phone. But in 2024, I don't think this phone is worth it for a daily driver. Only for calling and texting, it's good. So we're just gonna shut this back down. Okay, and I also forgot to shut back this phone. So let's just shut that down. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay, so next up is a Samsung Guru Music 2 SMB310E. This is a phone made for the Indian market. And this is a good phone if you live in India. And if you just need something that can make basic calls and send texts. It runs a generic Samsung OS. And this thing has support for, this thing has a cool removable back, which is something I really appreciate about this phone. And it has a SD card slot as well as 2 SIM card slots as suggested by the Duos logo up here. And I wouldn't recommend this phone in 2024 if you live in the US. But if you're in India and you're looking for a basic phone, I would recommend this phone if you could find it on a good deal. But there's better phones in India like the Lava and the Micro Max, which make better feature phones at better prices. But if you can find us a good deal, and if you're in India or any country that supports 2G, then I'd say go for it. But only if you're looking for a phone that supports calling and texting. Next up is a S4 Mini. So this says Varkai, which means life in Tamil. And yeah, I just forgot to turn off this phone. I'm sorry about that. So let's just turn off this phone. Yep, and that's the turning off animation. And now let's go over this phone. I'm sorry about that. So this, like I said, it says life in Tamil. And this phone, it works. This is from 2013. This used to be my mom's daily driver when I was a kid. And it works, like, it's smooth, but if you download apps or if you were to try to use this, it wouldn't work. And I don't think you can if you wanted to. The only thing you can potentially use it for is calling or texting. But even in my case, which I'm in the US, it doesn't work. And I already tried using calling or texting on this phone. So this is running Android 4.4.4 KitKat. And that's like a really old software. And as you guys can see, it does say US Mobile right there. So this does have a SIM card in it. So let me just show you the back cover. Let's take this off. It's made out of plastic, so it's quite cheap. But I like this design. I wish phones today had a removable back cover. So this supports 1 SD card and 1 SIM card slot. But depending on where you live, you could get the version that's the Duos version with 2 SIM card slots and 1 SD card. So let me just power this off. And this does not work in the US. Only on Wi-Fi it actually works. So yeah. Next up is a Galaxy S5. This is a Verizon Galaxy S5. And the thing about this phone is it does work, but its front is completely shattered. And oops, its battery just came out. And as you guys can see, it supports a micro SD card and 1 SIM card. So everything works on this phone except the screen. But I don't think it's worth replacing the screen anyways, because replacing the screen on this phone is quite expensive, and at the cost of that, you can just buy a new phone. So The screen is shattered from like 5th grade. I remember using this as a phone to play games on in 5th grade, and it's really nostalgic, and it kind of works, but not the screen. Next up is my Galaxy S6. This is running T-Mobile's latest network, and this is running Android 7.0 Nugget. It's running the same version as this tablet because both of these came out around the same time. And as you guys can see, it updated the weather. So this is, it can become sluggish though. Right now the phone is pretty smooth because I barely have any apps on it, but it can become really sluggish at times. And there's Instagram, and it does kind of work, but it's sluggish, especially on apps like TikTok or Instagram. But calling and texting do work on this phone. As you guys can see, this is on the T-Mobile network, and this is running, it's running pretty well on 4G networks, even in 2024, even though this phone is about like a decade old. So I'd say if the phone is less than a decade old, then get it. If you're not gonna use it, if you're not gonna use it as a daily driver, then you could get it. So yeah, I'd recommend this phone if you're gonna use it just like a landline phone, just for calling. But I'd say you can just get an S7 or an S8 around the same price as this thing. So yeah, I just have it because my mom used to own this phone. So let's just shut this back on. And also, this is a Verizon S6, as you guys can see, and the screen is completely shattered, and this phone has heavy burn-in. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but this does have heavy burn-in. And next up is my Galaxy S9 Plus. Okay, now this is a really cool phone, except this phone works perfectly. The only thing I don't like is that this phone, it's running a really old software, and the battery life sucks, which is the only reason why I upgraded to the S24 Ultra. And this actually used to be my main phone back in 2019 and 2020. So yeah, this is a decent phone, I'd say. This is running Android 10, and I really like this lilac purple color. This is a pretty nice color, I'd say. And yeah, I would recommend this phone if you can find it at a good price. But I'd also recommend something like at least an S10 or better, since the S10, you could find it at the same price as this S9. But if you can find an S9 for way cheaper than an S10 or an S20, then I'd say go for this phone. If you're going to use it like as a daily driver for 1 or 2 years, this is good. S9 is still good. So yeah, I'm going to power this phone back off. Next up is this Galaxy S21 Fan Edition. This phone right here, let me just put in my password. This is my grandma's phone. This is running Android like 14. This is running like the latest and greatest, and this is an amazing phone to buy. You can find this refurbished for less than like 200 off eBay, and it has a lot of the latest features, and it's still getting updates even in 2024, even though this thing is about like 2 years old. So I highly recommend this phone if you're going to use this as a daily driver. So yeah, let me just power this thing off. Yeah, so here, unfortunately, I have to like, oh my god, that's what I... So the thing is that this phone, you have to like hold both of these buttons down, the volume down and the power button, just to get to the menu, which is something I don't like about more modern Samsung phones in general. And next up is my S24 Ultra. Now, this is like the best of all of these phones. This is the beast. This is running Android 15 on One UI 7 skin, and this is a T-Mobile branded S24 Ultra 5G. And this phone comes with an S Pen, as you guys can see. It's pretty cool. It has a lot of the latest AI features, and I'd recommend this phone a lot, especially if you're somebody who likes the latest technology. And I upgraded from my S9 Plus to this S24 Ultra, and I gotta tell you, this is a great phone, and I highly recommend it. So let's just power this back down. Alright guys, so now let me just put the S Pen back in. So this is also the T-Mobile S24. The only thing I don't like is this thing is a T-Mobile branded phone, so it has a lot of T-Mobile bloatware and stuff. So, and that's it for my phone collection, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And unfortunately, I was not able to include my two S7 and my dad's Galaxy S8 since those phones were missing, but these were all the phones I could find in my house. So again, thank you guys, and peace out.